safety training is so critical in all levels of business and industry. I have with me Richard Broom, who's the Industrial Coordinator, and Steve Stockwell, Chief Officer of Business and Industry Services with Metro Technology Centers. Metro Technology Centers is in the forefront in safety training and in many other areas. And as a matter of fact, Steve, let's start out and just kind of get an outline of the opportunities and programs that are presented.
Okay, first of all, as we're talking about employee development or workforce development, safety is a part of what we do. We train a great number of people each year in safety. We have contracts with large organizations such as the Utilities Department of Oklahoma City, and we also worked with the individuals that were building the Devon Tower. And the interesting thing about that is that when we first started the training, we were training OSHA required classes in English. But due to the economy at that time, we had workers coming from all over the country because of the work that allowed, and English was not their only language. And therefore, we had to find individuals who could teach this as OSHA approved instructors that were both bilingual in English and Spanish.
And that was kind of an ongoing process then.
Yes, yes. And one of the big things there was fall protection, obviously. And we're proud to report that there were no workplace fatalities during the building of that
And
site.
that's with 6,000
Yes.
construction workers.
Yes, yes, over about a 3-year period. Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. Well, we're proud of that, but that was due to a partnership. It wasn't just Metro Tech that caused that to happen. So we were a part of that. Obviously, the organizations had to support the training and require it in the first place.
And that coordination is so important.
Yes.
Wow. And of course, we were talking about safety training, but as you were telling me, there is a multitude of other services.
Yes.
That you provide.
Yes. We do small business training to help new entrepreneurs as they get into business to learn what they need to find out in regards to maybe business plans, marketing plans, and so forth. And we teach those both in English and Spanish, as well as computer applications, where we do the Microsoft Suite, which a lot of people do, but we're the only authorized Apple and Adobe training center in the state of Oklahoma. And we bring about 40% of our clientele come from out of state. So we enjoy the folks bringing their money in state and spending that money in state while they're here for 3 days to a week.
Absolutely. We want that economic development from all aspects.
Yes.
And what I see here too with the high technology and how that integrates in, because it integrates into safety training.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Things are becoming more computerized. Richard, you have been working with the city of Oklahoma City.
Yes, I have.
And I'm hearing some good things about that.
We have a great safety program, training program with Oklahoma City Utilities Department. And we started with implementation of this program about 7 years ago, a little over 7 years ago. And I'm really excited about the program, what we've done. We have reduced injuries over 50% in that 7-year program, along with the administrative policies the city implemented during that time period. And we have a good partnership. Every year we tweak or change, modify our safety training just a little bit every year. And we're proud of our accomplishment, what we've done with the city.
And what you're doing as a part of the programs at Metro Technology, I think people would be curious. They're thinking a 50%, over 50% reduction. What are some of the ingredients that came into play to allow that to happen?
Well, we did a uniform training across the board with all the city divisions, where we set a standard of training with all the departments. And we went out and basically looked at the jobs, what they do, and the hazards they come across their jobs, and then we try to customize their training to fit what they need. And that's how we had great success doing that. We also come up with minimum training standards for the city of Oklahoma City Utilities Department, where we are going to teach this in each certain criteria in each subject in every safety class we teach for them. So all of our instructors understand what they got to perform in each class and what to cover in the testing and so forth.
So there's a continual process of customizing.
Yes.
As opposed to cookie cutter.
Right.
Yes.
so that it's going to really apply to their unique circumstances.
Oh, absolutely. And every year, we're going to less classroom to more hands-on training as well. And we find that to be more beneficial because students learn more by doing hands-on training than sitting in a classroom setting.
And that leads me to say, where are some of the places that your training takes place?
Well, we do it at different locations. We do it at each city location, utilities location, as well as Metro Tech itself. We do a lot of hands-on training at different locations throughout the city. And it depends on what the class is. It's what determines the location.
And that's part of the customizing.
Right.
It might not
Absolutely.
be so appropriate in the classroom as it would
Absolutely.
be in that particular
Absolutely.
area. And let me ask you the same question, Steve, when we talk about where training is done.
We offer our clients the option whether they want to come to our location or at their location. And with the 12 to 15,000 people that we train a year, we can't train them all in brick and mortar. So we customize it to what works for them. Some classroom training at our facilities, but many times the client wants to have training at their own facility using their own equipment. And so we can do that too.
Well, this once again, I keep going back to customizing.
Yes.
That it's customized. But also, I see two facets here. We talk about safety training. Why is it important? It seems like you've got the physical situation of avoiding injuries, but don't you also have the regulatory aspects people better be aware of?
Yes, absolutely.
And how does that come into play?
Well, OSHA requires each employer to train their own individuals or have them trained in the hazards that pertain to them. So we will assist an organization in outlining what kind of training, but the employer is the final judge that says they need more or they need something that is customized. But OSHA regulates that, and OSHA inspectors can come in at any time and double check a workplace. And so with our clients, that's not something that keeps them awake at night. It's something that they can be steadfast that we're taking care of those obligations.
Because by coordinating with them, they're able to make sure, and you know how to put them in the best position to deal with those things.
Yes, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is so multifaceted that let me ask you this. Let me ask you about the future.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of expansion do you see? Do you have room for expansion? It sounds
Yes.
like you're doing a tremendous amount of training already.
Yes. Well, again, many of the clients like training at their facility, so we can expand and move from there. Right now, the city of Oklahoma City has noticed the positive results that have come from the partnership with us in the utilities department, and we're currently looking at additional departments within the city to help bring them on board and standardize in their safety training as well. But the thing also that's interesting, safety is kind of a door opener, because typically a client will say, well, Richard, you do a really good job at this. Do you guys get involved with, and they'll name something else that is another item that they need some assistance with. And Richard has customized and handwritten some curriculum for the utilities department, probably 6 or 8 separate sets of curriculum that meet just their needs, that's not right off the shelf. So it opens the door to other things. And so he's written that, and about 4 or 5 years ago we wrote some curriculum for the utilities department in a succession format to help in the soft skills, to help new supervisors that are coming into the workplace because the baby boomer is retiring. So that is given an opportunity for people to advance, and they need new skills that they didn't have in the previous one. So again, it's something that when the client sees that what we do is successful and it works for them and it helps them and helps their employees, then they turn to us for other training as well.
And that means that you all are good listeners.
We'd like to think so.
Because in order to determine other potential opportunities and ways to help, this is a great turnaround in education over the last 20 or 30 years from when it was just cookie cutter programs. And the immense potential of approaching it this way, as you all are, right on the forefront of doing that. Let's speak some more to that, Richard, of going in and listening. How powerful is that, and what does that bring forth?
It's understanding what the customer wants. And the bottom line, what we try to do is, in the safety training aspect, is reduce injuries and bring people to work every day. And this saves money for utilities department, and it brings better morale, more productivity to the department as well, and it makes it more profitable, less cost savings for the city on the rates.
You have physical value to it, people
Yes.
not getting injured, but you have psychological value
Oh,
to
yes.
it also.
Oh yes, we try to improve morale, cost savings. It just all comes together.
Well, what is the future looking like for these programs? Who would like to speak to that?
Well, I think the future looks very bright. We get great support from our administration for customized training that we need to do. We get great support from Career Tech in things that they see as a need as well. And we get one of our new areas, or our expanding areas, is also in the health career field. Because again, baby boomers are retiring, so we need medical individuals to move into those positions. And so we're doing a number of classes to help in a career ladder, that someone can come in at a very basic training position and then work their way up in a hospital or a nursing home or some other health center. And so that's just another form of workforce in development, is training people for new job skills.
And is there anything growing faster than the medical field?
We haven't found it yet.
Haven't found it. It may be out there.
It may be.
And so that is such an opportunity for individuals to develop their future.
Yes, absolutely.
And how is that expanding with you all in programs?
Well, we have classes both in the day and the evening in our division for individuals who want to get into the health career field. So they can come in and train to be a CNA, a certified nursing assistant. But then they can move into, in a few months, into a certified medication aide. And so there's a career ladder that they can work. So if they work in the daytime, they could take classes in the evening. If they work in the evening, they could take classes in the daytime. So again, customizing in the schedule, so it works around people's schedule, so that they can still advance and still continue with their family and their work obligations.
Doesn't that really make it valuable when you can customize the time frame to where it works for people and they're not having to make difficult choices as to when they get there?
Yes.
And doesn't that also affect the way that you produce programs, looking at the availability of those individuals' time?
Yes, we do. And what we try to do, we try to give the best training we can in the shortest amount of time, and make sure the customer gets what they need. So yes, that's what we try to do.
In Richard's case with the Utilities Department of Oklahoma City, he conducts and he coordinates approximately 750 to 780 classes per year, individual classes. And that speaks to different divisions within that department, as well as the different needs within that. So that's a large number of classes each year that he's personally responsible for coordinating with instructors, curriculum, space, and so forth.
It sounds like the growth is going to be continual.
Yes, yes.
And it's so important that people know about this, and as you were mentioning, all age groups
Yes.
Oh yes.
can benefit. I guess someone who's even still in high school but wanting to maybe get a CNA or do something to enter into the medical field.
Yes.
They would be in a position to be able to do that. Wow, there are so many things that we could talk about. Our time has gone by. Richard Broom, thank you for joining us, Industrial Coordinator, and Steve Stockwell, Chief Officer of Business and Industry Services with Metro Technology Centers. We'll have to catch up with you in a couple of years and just see what other phenomenal things are happening.
Please do. We look
Thank
forward
you.
to it.
Thank you very much.